So all our service providers are regulated according to the different jurisdictions they operate from, and as well as the different functions they provide to us. And I will share some of that with you tonight. When we read that statement that neither the presenters nor organizers are registered financial service providers, but our service providers are, we actually mean that we are fully regulated and compliant both locally and internationally. I'm going to continue. Should you take up a product or service or enter into agreement with the relevant service providers introduced to you and you operate on their terms and conditions? Again, I want to expand on this statement. As we work with different entities across the globe, each country has their own T's and C's to be compliant with those specific regulators. So when you engage with MyWealth Method, or you engage with MyWealth Dice, or you engage with MyWealth Advisory, those are all different companies with all different T's and C's, because we need to remain compliant in all jurisdictions. Understand that you are working with a group of companies that work together in synergy to provide you with the ultimate solution. All calculations are illustrated and based on assumptions. As stipulated by law, no guarantees can be made about your ability to get results or earn any money with our ideas, information, tools, or strategies. Results in life are up to you. Now that is a big one. Guys, do I have your permission to be frank with you guys, or honest? Say it as it is. Give me a yes in the chat if I'm allowed to do so. Okay, thank you. I'm so thankful to see there's no no's in there. so I can continue. The reality in life is as follows. Your circumstances are based on a series of decisions you have made that led you to where you are. With other words, we cannot blame our parents, our country, our children, our spouse, whatsoever, for where we are if we don't like it where we are. It is your fault, nobody else's. But if you recognize that unfortunate point for some people, you also have the power now to change what you have done in the past and change the way to move forward. So when we say results in life are up to you, that is actually the truth. Now, are there circumstances outside of our control? Indeed. But it is how you approach those circumstances that will dictate how you go forward. For some people, COVID has been absolutely devastating. For other people, it's been some of the best times in their life. So I want to challenge you tonight is to take responsibility of your life, to take responsibility of your circumstances. And if you don't like it, start changing it. There's this joke that always says, I'm looking for the perfect husband or the perfect wife, or I'm looking for the perfect company. The problem is the moment you become part of that company, or the moment you meet the perfect husband or wife, they want the same. And unfortunately, we are not perfect. Thus, there's no perfect situation. So if you want to have the perfect situation or the perfect job or spouse, then strive first to improve yourself. And if you do that, for some reason, the people around you become better as well. Okay. It might have to do that you grow as a person. But let's get back to the point. Results are up to you. And if you grasp that, MyWealth can help you by moving you forward. I'm reading what's standing there. Okay, so MyWealth can help you provide new content, direction, and strategies that have worked well for us and our students and could help you move forward. So this is the T's and C's, the disclaimer for tonight. Are all in agreement? Please give me a yes, just to make sure you're all still awake. There we go. Great. I love the interaction. Thank you, everybody. I don't know if you guys know, but these are the 3 men heading up this company, and women. There are also women involved. It's not just the 3 men. My wife keeps me on my toes quite regularly, as I am kind of, let's just call it a rebel. Okay, but the executive team consists out of myself. I'm the founder and managing director of the organization. We've got Dr. Anthony van Tonder, who you've just met. He's our CEO and also director of the board. And we've got Charl Coetzee, which is our senior business strategist and also director of the board. So these are the 3 men heading this, steering the ship moving forward. I'm going to share tonight things that has never been shared with most people. I decided I'm going to go a bit bigger than just MyWealth and share with you guys the complete ecosystem we've been working on behind the scenes. So the first slide here is listing all the different, let's call it silos or movements or companies in which we are currently developing or innovating or actively moving forward to change the status quo. The first company I'm going to speak to you guys about is MyGrid Innovations. This is where we are looking at alternative infrastructure solutions to, let's just call it, improve our lives. Then we've got the MyTech Solutions group of companies. These are solutions to help us as business owners have the necessary tools to create compliant and sustainable businesses. Then we've got the MyHealth Complete or MyHealth group of companies. This is where we specifically focus on making sure we all live at least to 120, and we live to 120 within our full strength, being sound of mind. Okay. But we are actively pursuing and generating health solutions that can improve one's life without having to go to unnecessary chemical solutions. Then we've got the MyGrowth Academy. And MyGrowth Academy is in the process of being accredited as a training institution where we're going to equip our members with qualifications that is accredited both locally and internationally in various fields. We have MyWealth Capital, which I'm going to expand about, which is our financial backbone, where we operate mainly on with all the licenses and thus more provide the investment solutions. And then we've got MyWealth Method, which is the key to unlock access to all of these above mentioned solutions. So this is a high level overview of what we've been busy with. Please note, this is not everything. There's other things we've been working on, but we're not yet ready to reveal that to everybody. So, but I believe this will be enough to keep you guys excited. So let's look at MyGrid Solutions, or sorry, MyGrid Innovations. So MyGrid Innovations is currently focusing on producing clean or green energy solutions, specifically for South Africa, but also applicable worldwide. We've opted for a solution that will help us create decentralized electricity where it's needed. The problem with centralized energy solutions is that you need big power stations that have substations all over the country to make sure the power gets delivered to where it is. But if you can work on a decentralized energy solution, you don't have to have all of that infrastructure to actually obtain electricity at a continuous supply. I don't know about you guys outside of South Africa, but in South Africa, we have got a supply problem, a consistency problem in supply. Okay, the solution we've brought to the table, that will be a thing of the past. We can set up mini power grids, like we can put in one solution that can power a small suburb, or even a town, a complex, or even a house if necessary. We have the capability to scale up or down, down or up, and get people off the grid. Part of the solution is a water purification system. So not only will you get a consistent clean energy at competitive price point, but it will also provide you with clean water in your house or where you live. So in most parts of Africa, clean water is a real challenge. With the MyGrid product offering, we can actually provide electricity with clean water. You can also have climate control. So if it's very hot, part of the solution provides you with climate control, so you can actually cool your house down or the buildings down, and you also have valuable byproducts that is delivered. So in essence, the clean fuel we use is actually worth more than what we've put into it. Now, that provides us with a solution that creates more value the longer it runs. This is something we plan to push to market in probably the next year or so, and I believe this will become quite a popular option in the marketplace. And MyGrid Innovations is primarily looking at bigger projects, infrastructure projects. So any way we can improve or optimize the environment we live in, that type of developments or innovations will fall under the MyGrid groups of companies. The next one is the MyTech Solutions. The next group of products I want to speak about is the MyHealth Complete group of companies. MyHealth Complete is a group of companies that is focusing on creating alternative health solutions. The reality is, guys, that God created the world with everything we need to live healthy, sustainable lifestyles. And whether we want to believe it or not, the solution for the most current disease that is creating fear among people is freely available through natural solutions. But to talk about this, I want to call up our CEO of MyHealth, Gerard Houberg. Gerard, when you're ready, you can just unmute yourself and maybe just touch on the points that I've listed on the screen and give us just a short overview of what you guys are doing in MyHealth.
I think we are very excited to be part of the MyHealth venture together with MyWealth. If we are looking at the vision of MyHealth, what is it really that we want to achieve? We are looking really to provide wholeness and healing to all participating individuals and people on the outside. And what we really want to achieve there is the healing of physical body through provision of various alternative natural processes. And the second thing I just want to lift out as important is the healing of the spiritual body through the understanding of spiritual principles and being able to apply these in line with the Bible and God's word. And I think this also includes encouraging and helping people to apply these truths in the personal life and in their walk with God. So we actually want to provide a whole environment where people actually can recover to their full health. And we would like, and we want to provide this through the provision of various systems in the health industry, in alternative healing methods. And what excites me about this, it's our opportunity to link with people outside of MyWealth and inside of it, where we provide then services in which we can do tests with people. We actually do microscopic live blood testing, which will show us a whole variation of what is going on with the body, being able to see what's going on, making recommendations, providing solutions, maybe compiled from herbal combinations, herbal formulations, and then also may result into counseling and a life coaching to enable people to recuperate and get their health back. And this is exciting in that how we want to provide that is through various methods and resources that we want to make available to us, which will also then go into the supply of herbs and also the supply of various other resources like organic foods. We are also even thinking of linking into farming and organic foodstuffs. And so what we want to achieve there is provide an integrated solution that will support the whole vision of MyWealth. That is basically simple, short.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Gerard. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
So guys, just to cover what I have on the screen is, so MyHealth is continuously busy with research, development, and quality control to ensure that we can get the highest quality natural products out to our members that can actually address many of the problems we have today within through a regulated framework, but providing natural solutions that will not break down your body, but will heal the body through providing it with the correct mechanisms. We're also looking obviously at sourcing and providing organic farming to make sure we have only the highest quality of products available. We are busy looking at setting up our own manufacturing. We obviously already have product procurement and distribution that's going on behind the scenes, and many nice formulations that have been secured and in the process of being created. We're going to have MyHealth agents / coaches. So these were people that will be operating either from home office or from satellite clinics that can provide people in the immediate vicinity with, let's call it, the solutions that is brought to the table to provide, to help people with a holistic health solution. They will also have franchises where we have formal structures, make sure everything is done in the correct way. This will probably be in the bigger cities where there's more population. I don't want to, let's call it a discount-like setup, where you can come in, there will be a health practitioners operating from the situation that can actually assist you with whatever your problem is in a holistic manner. And then we'll have the healthcare centers that will equate to like hospitals, but instead of pumping you full of drugs, you can receive again holistic services and high-level treatment to make sure you live to at least 120. Okay, that's my goal. You're welcome to go to 140, but I'm for now just going to go to 120. So this is the MyHealth Complete ecosystem. Obviously, there's a lot more behind this, but I think for now you guys get the idea. And talk about how the MyTech Solutions can actually assist our entrepreneurs and business owners grow their businesses and move forward.
Okay, thanks, Charl. Welcome. I'd just like to take you guys through very briefly through the MyTech Solutions. What we're wanting to do is to offer businesses an ERP solution which normally they won't be able to afford, that's normally only available to the very large organizations. But we feel that's very unfair. Smaller organizations should actually be able to tap into the power of these excuse me, these big ERP systems. And so this is a draft of what we're looking at the moment. If I quickly go through the micro business, excuse me, often a small business, it might be a 1 or 2 man show, they don't have access to proper tools. And it just starts with the basics of payroll and being able to keep all of their clients' details and proper CRM to manage those businesses. And just the tools needed for them to manage their business. The other thing is training as well. A small business is expected to know so much about the legal requirements, for instance, in South Africa, and no one really trains them. So it would also include that training that they need. And then as a micro business grows and it grows into a small business, it ends up getting more staff, ends up getting a team together. Again, it's a transition, and a lot of entrepreneurs are not ready for that transition to understand that roles change. I see the same happening with Charl. His roles is changing, and he's having to also change now mentality. And we want to again give that training to help them to understand, how to delegate, how to manage your time, etc., and give them the tools for it. Because if you don't have the right tools, you're going to be wasting a lot of time trying to manage and keep records of things. And there's a lot of software tools to manage your staff, manage your information, manage your products, etc. And then in the medium business, as you grow again, normally 50 employees plus, there's also a lot of regulations that come into play. There's a lot, you're going to be doing things differently with your staff. You're not going to be as hands-on. You're not going to be able to dedicate time to new employees and things like that. And if you've got the right tools, and of course, if you get this ready before you get there, it'll help you to be successful. And so, I mean, if we just take that disciplinary management one, even big companies don't seem to know how to do the disciplinary management properly. And there's a piece of software which actually steps the managers through the process precisely, so that they do the process as they should, and not get into trouble with CCMA. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. It's just the tip of the iceberg, but it's one of the things that we want to give to businesses so that they can grow properly.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Darren. Darren, while I have on your line, guys, just to give you a background, there's already over 70 different modules that has been developed. So obviously, we are only scratching the surface here to give you guys the base of what most companies need when they need it. But something I actually want Darren to just to expand a bit on. As you guys see at the bottom, we've put down training for running a business or training for managing staff. Darren and his team has actually already developed a mini MBA. I think it was you and your wife and father that put that course together.
Yeah, it was initiated by her father, who was actually a professor. He had his professorship in entrepreneurship. So basically managing companies, and he built the course. He did pass away a few years ago, and then me and my wife took over the course, and we've offered it to many different companies, and some of the big companies have sent all their managers onto this course because as they realized, it's a year course, but it is quite lightweight, but you get promoted to be a manager, and you expected to know what to do. So we go through 26 different areas of management to train you up on how to actually be a manager. And it's not training you in the area of your expertise, because you're already an expert in that area. It's all the other areas that you're very weak in, that you need the training.
What we're going to do with MyTech is we're gonna actually launch I'm going to call it a consultant program, where we're going to assist specialists in business analytics. What are we going to call the people who goes into the business and analyze them?
Business analysis.
Yeah. Train up consultants that specialize in optimizing and analyzing businesses, and they will sit with you one-on-one and help you implement software solutions through the MyTech ecosystem, not to give you a software solution, but to actually streamline and optimize your business by making use of these different solutions. Because there's no sense in having a payroll system just to pay people. You actually want your payroll system to optimize your productivity, to streamline your processes, to make sure you spend minimal time on admin and maximum time on productivity and generating income, and become the rainmaker of your organization. But those who need to specialize in payroll, or need to specialize in sales, they can do so and have the assistance of a business analyst helping you understand it in the correct context of your business. So this is part of the ecosystem we're going to provide within MyTech Solutions.
What we've already started is a process where we training up people, to non-IT people, to take these solutions so that they can go into businesses and analyze the needs of that business, because most businesses are not being run properly. And so you go into that business and you actually help that business to be a lot more effective, and places and ways to analyze the business in order to improve productivity throughout the entire organization. So we will be looking at training up key MyWealth people as well, to be able to also do those roles, which is also an income generator for those MyWealth people.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Let's go on. We spoke about my health, and now we're going to speak about my growth. So we've started a process to set up and get a MyGrowth Academy accredited. We hope to have that done, I think, by the end of this year. And we're going to specialize for now in 4 major, let's call it, channels or groups of development. The first one is personal, leadership, financial, and kingdom. But to share this with you, I'm going to ask Dr. Charl van Tonder, the CEO of MyGrowth Academy, just to speak to us for about 5 minutes of what she and her team has been up to and where MyGrowth Academy is heading.
Okay, all right. Okay, I can't do video, guys, but how's it? Can you hear me, Charl? You happy? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? Cool. Awesome. Sorry, guys, can't do video either. Thanks, Arno. Okay, guys, very exciting. New phases, new exciting things that are hitting the board. And quite rightly, as Charl alluded to just now, we are going to accredit the MyGrowth Academy. And MyGrowth Academy's philosophy is all about empowering growth and how important it is for each and every single one of us to grow. And specifically in the area of we're looking at God, self, others, and then the economy. And so from God perspective, we're looking at the spiritual side. From self, it will be a personal development program that we go on there, which is what we've got up front there. Then from the others, that would be the leadership style. Some of you have been exposed to some of the leadership stuff already. And then economy is all about foundational kingdom principles. We have very excitingly got an amazing company that's helping us accredit the academy. And we've got our first course, which is going to be entry level, which is the beginning part of what you've just learned about in MyTech Solutions. It covers a whole lot of ground stuff, which Darren went into in quite detail there. So that would be the advanced stuff, which will be taking you into the MBA. Qualification on our first level, which we're so excited we're going to be starting very soon, would be your level 4, which is your NQF level. And yeah, so it's very exciting where we're going from there. And I am just saying that, guys, if you can actually picture our young, being able to educate our youngsters on what is the money mindset and how we can have the money mindset that we're learning about now as they are school leavers, and also because it's an NQF level certification, some of them could be able to really qualify themselves in this area as once they leave school, give them something to do. Very exciting is the program is all about new venture development, that we take a person through the process. So they would have to participate when you're on the program. Whoever joins the program would have to participate in the educational educators side of the program, which means they're going to have to build a business and apply all the business principles as they go through the program. So it's not just going to be verbal lectures and then they write a test. That is going to happen, but also I agree with you, Nazan Bester. It's like I'm so super excited, I can't even sleep at night. And so going on from there, what is going to happen is that they have to go through our setting up their teams, being investors, developing their teams, becoming educators. So the practical skills have to be implemented as well. So it's very, very, very exciting. And we're going to be starting this program from God willing, and Devalente, he's in control of everything. So we are hoping to start this program when the universities and that get up and running from next year, and the accreditation will happen. And we are going to be doing it not just live sessions. We're going to design, thanks to Darren, the whole program would be able to be online as well. So it becomes the global. So MyGrowth Academy, fired up, excited. It's all about empowering growth in all those areas, which is God, self, others, and economy. And guys, we are literally, as an organization, seriously going to impact the growth and the change of how people see leaving school in South Africa. So we are next level. And Michelle, I agree with you. We are going to change. Unemployment will not be heard of, because from my perspective, something I've always believed in is God said the poor will always be amongst you. He never ever said poverty will be amongst you. So we're going to eradicate that. We will not have it. And we are going to really empower the growth of each and every single, starting with ourselves, into our nation, and from our nation onto the shores. I heard a horrific thing today where they said they want to keep Africa as a poor country because of all our mineral resources that we have, and the rest of the world can buy from us cheaply. Well, we are going to change that, and we're going to show the rest of the world we're going to rise up, and this is our time. This is our moment, and we have been called to change this nation. And I just want to say, Charl, thank you very much for your vision, because you've imparted to us. And I don't know if you can hear, I am beyond excited. So yes, we are going to do this. So thank you, guys. That's me done. Float, float. My stewardie's 8. Thanks, Charl.
Thank you, Michelle. Guys, for those who don't know, that Afrikaans she said at the end, that is, that's awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Guys, just think about this. If you can send your child out of, let's call it matric, or finishing high school, already making more money than most people make in their daily jobs. The program that we have been putting together through Academy, with combining all the other facets of what we have in the MyWealth ecosystem, actually enables us to send our youth through a process where they can solidify their identity. How many teenagers do you guys know that is confused about who they are? It doesn't need to be that way. We can literally establish people on the correct foundation, help them find their identity, find their purpose, and help them become financially free the day they leave school. And then from that point forward, they don't have to go study that makes money. They can go study and pursue what their passion is. And that way we can change the world through people who love what they do. Don't you guys agree that if everybody just did what they love doing, that we will not have a better community, a better towns, better everything, because people won't mind doing what they do because that's what they love doing. Now, this is what MyWealth Academy is going to help us establish. Well, basically the whole ecosystem. And MyWealth Academy is the training arm of that part. Okay, so now I'm going to go into MyWealth Capital. So I'll be the guest speaker for this section. So I hope I will keep you guys' attention. So most of you have not yet heard about MyWealth Capital. MyWealth Capital is set up offshore, and this is basically the let's call it the umbrella company that is hosting or housing or facilitating all of our financial backbone. So under MyWealth Academy, we have MyWealth Advisory, which is a company both locally and international that assists people with all the fiduciary services they need as they grow in, let's call it, posture and in wealth. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this, but wealthy people don't own anything. Rich people do, not wealthy people. Wealthy people have learned the skill of owning nothing but benefiting from everything that they have access to. We want to teach you guys the secrets of the wealthy so that you can structure your life accordingly and start generating generational wealth that is supported by your family's legacy. With other words, if you can train your children in their calling and passion, and they know they have the financial backing to go execute whatever that is, don't you think that will be a much, much better life than starting out with nothing and trying to figure out what you need to go and do, struggle until you're 60 or 70, and then only retire for a few golden years and be back where you started with nothing? So MyWealth Advisory, we started to pull together the key players there. This week we met with some of our key people there. Very excited about the caliber of people that's aligning with us. Guys, the people we are pulling together is literally the top performers in the industry. It is the best of the best. Most of you are aware of MyWealth Dias. MyWealth Dias is the way we have structured people to acquire cash flow. So those who are not yet involved in MyWealth provide private equity opportunities to our investors in MyWealth Method. And MyWealth Dias is one of those companies in which our members can acquire shares. As a shareholder of the company, you can then benefit from the growth and the income that's generated through that company. It has specifically been structured to assist with cash flow. The reality of life is that it does not matter how much capital you have. It is cash flow that determines your lifestyle. Cash flow is like financial oxygen. If you don't have oxygen, doesn't matter how strong your body is, you're gonna have problems. So that's the first focus in MyWealth Capital, is to help our investors and our members create cash flow for themselves, their family, and their purpose. The second company we have is MyWealth Vanguard. That's also a private equity company that's available to only our shareholders. And MyWealth Vanguard is specifically structured to assist in the fast accumulation of assets. It's an asset accumulating vehicle. So through becoming a shareholder of that company, you obviously position yourself to grow exponentially over a 3 to 5 year term, where we work with you and help you to actually grow your capital through the excess cash flow you're generating through Dias. And in MyWealth Centurion, that is our, I won't say the last destination, but we start parking your money. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of this. There comes a point in life when you have too much money, okay? It does happen, believe me, it does, okay? Now, some of you can't believe that. But in the beginning, when you start out, your goal is to create cash flow because you need to eat, you need to live. Then you go into a point where you start accumulating wealth, you start accumulating assets. But when you reach a certain point, you need to start safeguarding your wealth. You need to start making sure that the value is protected and your risks are diversified. And that is what MyWealth Centurion is all about. It's about protecting the value you have accumulated on your journey. We also have Delta VC1, which is a FCA regulated entity. I think I'll do that. Let me go to South Africa. So in South Africa, we've got various entities that we work with. One of them is Delta VC1. Delta VC1 is actually regulated and have the FSB number with the FCA, which is the South African Financial Conduct Authority. All our other entities are regulated by SARS and by SIPC. SIPC is the regulatory body that regulate companies, both public and private. And then Delta is also regulated by Treasury, as it has the mandate to also invest offshore. Let me go back to this one. We also set up in Sweden. Sweden is where we actually help our clients set up the international trustees. Well, that's why we have international trustee services. So we help you with trust, with international structures, so that you can. We are set up ourselves in Sweden to assist our members with global structuring, tax efficiencies. And this is where we will issue guys with international bank accounts. We are of the belief in MyWealth that we should not live like slaves in a country. We should live like tourists in every country we visit, because our financial strength should not be dependent on any jurisdiction or climate or political powers or anything of that kind where we are. We should have the financial freedom to live an international life and choose to live where we want. And our finances should serve our lifestyle and not we, our finances. So that's why we've chosen Sweden as our fiduciary hub. So we also set up in Switzerland. This is where we have our investment managers. That's the hub where most of them operate from. We also operate from Seychelles and Mauritius and a few other jurisdictions. But in Switzerland, we're also registered with FINMA, which is the equivalent of the FCA in South Africa. In Mauritius, we are registered under different entities, but all of them are regulated as need be. The Mauritian authority is the FSB, so it's the same as South Africa's old name. And through the MyWealth Capital structures and partnerships we have globally, we've literally built a backbone to manage one's finances internationally and have the freedom of choice on how you want to live without the risk of any given jurisdiction. Just for example, one of the structures we've set up with one of the companies is you buy shares in a company that is regulated by South Africa with a bank account in Switzerland, with its fund registered in Mauritius, with the fund traded in Seychelles. That's one entity, the way it's been set up. So everything has been done cross-jurisdictional to make sure no government can poke the fingers where it doesn't belong, but we can remain compliant to international compliance and give our clients the best of all worlds. So that is MyWealth Capital. I'm going to go over to MyWealth Method. And MyWealth Method is where we're going to pull everything together. MyWealth Method is the key that unlocks this whole ecosystem. And that is why I'm going to just repeat now the vision of MyWealth. It's providing the framework for the optimal investor solution. We have realized many, many years ago that each person's circumstances are different and unique to them. But we all more or less use the same tools, but to get different results or to address different scenarios. So instead of trying to create one product that, like Lord of the Rings, one ring to control them all, we've created a toolbox of hammers and screwdrivers and saws and pliers, whatever we need. And you'll probably use all the tools in there, but you'll use them in the sequence that works for you. You'll use them in the measurement that works for you. And that's why MyWealth is just providing the framework. And through MyWealth Capital, we'll give you the tools to actually build the lifestyle that you are looking for. Will it be a quick fix? The answer is no. Because the reality is, most people's problem is not finances. Most people's problem is this thing. It's the grysstof. Okay, it's the way we think about things, the way we've been taught to do things, and we've been taught and trained in a manner that keeps us captive. It is not. We have not been trained to live a life of freedom, a life of innovation, a life of choice. We've been trained to think that we have to work for money instead of money working for us. And it takes, unfortunately, 3 to 5 years to change our thinking, to understand the limitations that we've put upon ourselves. And through the whole MyWealth ecosystem, I hope you can see that we have done everything that we think is necessary to help unlock your purpose, your calling in your life, and give you the tools so that you can do what you were called to do, and that money work for you and serve you as you execute your calling and your purpose. And with that, we have our mission statement that states to supply a global wealth creation system. I'm going to repeat this: a global wealth creation system. Although this is a South African company, for those who are not in South Africa, the focus is not South Africa, the focus is global. And the structures has been set up in such a way that we can serve, I want to call it, most international clients that is not in South Africa, but a global wealth creation system with simple how-to strategies. I want to talk about that word simple. I did not say easy. Most people want an easy or a quick way out. Guys, that does not work. I promise you, I have tried multiple times. So take my word for it. Easy doesn't work. Simple does. But it takes dedication, it takes focus. But if applied correctly, you can have what you desire. So with simple how-to strategies, which empowers thousands of families to have financial freedom. I want to go back to empower thousands of families. Guys, the current system wants to destroy families. They are confusing people about their sexuality. They are confusing people about what the role is of a father and a mother and a child. For some reason, children has become more important than their parents. Guys, the day you get married, there's no child involved in that commitment to one another is to husband and wife. That is the highest authority in a relationship, not the child. But families have been been under attack the past 20 years. And we believe if you want to, we have seen as families have been attacked, society has crumbled into chaos. We want to repair society, we need to repair families. And that is why our focus is on the family. So to help thousands of families to have financial freedom so they can spend quality family time together while serving within the communities to have to live out their passion and life's purpose. And this is basically how we're going to do it. And the ecosystem we've just illustrated to you is the different components of this recipe all coming together. I hope this was insightful to you. This is the end of my presentation. Anthony, if there's maybe something you want to add, or maybe we can do a Q&A. Yeah, we can. I'm up for that.
Charl, 100%. That's really what it's about. I think if everybody can just realize that we've been speaking in terms of what's happening behind the scenes, and people have, and there's sort of been the question mark. That's why when the executive spoke about where we are at this point in time, and we are literally on new breaking ground, as I said, this baby is being delivered. We just felt the time is right for you, our private club members, to understand how big this organization really is and how it will serve you as the complete one-stop shop. We really aim to have to assist you in every avenue of life, so you do not have to go anywhere else, but in such a way that it meets your purpose. The biggest statement that Charl Coetzee ever made to me was, it is not about the money. It's about people finding their purpose. That changed everything. That changed the direction of the company, and that changed the way that we think and work around things. So you just saw a little window open up to you tonight in terms of what the bigger vision is and what we're busy with behind the scenes. Yes, Dewald, I see what you're saying. You're proud to be part of the movement. I'm a proud daddy tonight. I'll be honest with you. I cannot wait to see how this is going to impact literally thousands and thousands of people, and households will be changed forever. So maybe what we can do, Charl, is because this is the first time we have opened up our radar a little bit to the rest of the market, I think we should take a few Q&As. So for those who'd like to ask a question, if you could ask a question in the chat box or just raise your hand, and Charl will handle them. Thank you.
Okay, guys, don't put your questions in the chat, put it in the Q&A box, otherwise we might miss the questions. Warren, I see you've put up your hand, so I'm going to allow you to talk. You can just unmute yourself now and then ask a question or give some feedback. Anybody else? I don't think Warren, okay. Here's a question. Is there a timeline or roadmap for all of these various entities and functions to come online? Great question. The answer is yes. And some of them we don't want to share, and some of them we will share. As we go live, we will announce, like we did with MyWealth Bios. We said, okay, this is not pre-launch. The inner circle can become part of this. But in principle, I think over the next 2 years, all of these different projects will be up and running and functional in the different jurisdictions where they need to operate. Most of the MyWealth Capital and MyWealth Method products and services will be operational in the next 3 to 6 months, guys. So if you're wondering about that. How will the company change when it goes into full launch? I hope it will change for the better. We've been pulling behind the scenes, we've been pulling many people into the fold, and I don't believe the company will, in essence, change that much. It will, but obviously, different people with different expertise will be allocated and pulled in as necessary. Let's see what's the next question here. Charl, can Michelle please state the min average age for the academy to our prospective investors? So, Michelle,
I saw that. I was hoping you would answer it.
I can.
So obviously our first target market is going to be our existing clients, but our heart is the accreditation will be level 4, which is your national senior certificate. So we would love to start educating children from around about age 14, but they won't be able to fall into the accreditation side. So it would be but we want to start round about, well, actually between 12 and 14, hey, Charl, if I'm correct. That's where we'd like to go.
Yeah. So Academy is going to first roll out, let's call it, to the adult audience. Then it's going to roll out to the high school audience. And let's call it the standard 8 and up, or what's a grade 10 and up now. And then we're going to focus on the lower levels of high school, and then we'll go to primary school. So as time goes on, we will cover more and more ranges. But as someone just said, we need to crawl before we walk, and we need to walk before we run. So we've strategically decided to start with certain things, and as we get those milestones achieved, we'll move on to the next and take it from there. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, let's see. Next. This all sounds very interesting. Just wondering what made you decide to diversify and cover so many areas and business offerings. Well, I think it comes down to one simple phrase: change the world. The world is going to chaos because good men sits by and do nothing. And we decided in MyWealth is that we will no longer sit by and do nothing and let corrupt systems take over our daily lives. Someone needed to step up, and we've accepted that challenge. Next question. Good evening, Charl. Thank you for the session. Would you clarify the difference between an investor and an educator, please? Some new people might be worried about having to write exams. Thank you and regards. Gerard. Awesome. Okay, so MyWealth Method is a private investor club, meaning any person can join the club. They can go through the onboarding process, and once they've successfully completed the onboarding process, they can become a club investor. With other words, they get access to our private equity opportunities where they become shareholders of those companies, and thus they become investors. We also have a few members that love what we do, and they want to become part of the family in terms of helping other people become financially free. So those select few people can then apply to become educators within the MyWealth system, and they basically become our, let's call it, our support in the marketplace. They then go through training, write an exam to become qualified, and as they then grow as educators and then onboard the different courses we have, they can then assist our members in different areas and also generate additional income for them and their families. Okay, so that's all basically the two differences. The one is investors, they're club members, and they can focus on the investments, and then you've got the educators, which is something they have to apply for, write the exams, go through the training, and then they can start supporting the members in the community of MyWealth. I think it's important that the Academy includes training on family restoration. I 100% support what Charl said, thank you, namely that we must restore wealth in families first as portal for creating wealthy societies and wealthy nations. Thank you. We agree, Etienne, and that's why we have a big focus on relationships. And again, as Michelle said, there's 4 types of relationships. There's your relationship with God, our Creator. There's a relationship with yourself. There's a relationship with others, and there's a relationship with your environment. And most of what we do falls into those 4 filters. Next question. Would you please share a formal email address where we can communicate directly with support and possible new ventures? Anthony, which email do you think we should use for that?
I would believe DICE is the right platform for that at this stage. Okay,
so you can use, Anthony, can you type that for us into the chat? On the water purification, will that be a process in conjunction with the current municipality? Is it a device that can be used by households? It's the way we are structuring it is that it can be used in conjunction with municipalities, but it's actually a device that is located near your house, and it can use any source of water and supply it to the environment, to the immediate community or environment. What will be the different levels of investments been looked at for members to get involved? Okay, so basically If you want to get involved in MyWealth Method and partake in any one of our private equity opportunities, you can start from as little as $100 with a $20 admin fee. So basically $120 will be the minimum, and anything from, let's call it 4 billion. So if you want to bring 4 billion, we will take that as well. Okay. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Guys, we have 4 different membership levels. The first level is starting at the minimum of $100, going all the way to about $500. We recommend people start with at least $500, and from there you grow. The next, let's call it, category of investors is about $10,000 up to about, let's call it $100,000. Sorry, $50,000 up to $1 million. That's the next category, and then we've got the $5 million and above of investors. But there's 4 memberships. Depending on what your needs are, depending where you are in your journey, we can assist you, as these different levels of investors all have different needs at that point in time. So as you grow, we then make more and more services available as you need them as you grow. But there's no sense in applying for international trust structures when you only have $500 to start with. We will get there, but it's not a problem at this current point in time. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Andre. Would one be able to get involved in marketing and servicing some of the MyGrid Innovations in the future? Yes, we will be rolling out a very interactive approach. I think that's all the questions I've seen on this side. Let's see. So if we don't write exams but introduce someone, are we an introducer, or do we earn commissions? Guys, MyWealth Method is not a multi-level marketing company, so you can introduce as many people as you like, but we will not be paying out any commissions for that, as people only get compensated for providing support to our members. And people can only join MyWealth by being invited by one of our members. I hope that answers the question. How long will the NPF4 course be? Michelle, maybe you should answer that one.
Did you ask me a question?
Yeah. Yes, the question was, how long will the NPF4 course be, or how long will it take to complete?
We are discussing at the moment, because some people would be able to fast track it in a 6-month period, some people in a year, and some people in 2 years. It all depends on whether they do it part-time, full-time, or whatever it is. So when we roll it out, we'll give all those options to everybody.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, question, are we going to allow people to borrow funds from us? No, we are not a credit institution. We are an investment and debt-free society. So we will not be providing credit for that. Yeah, guys, the existing financial system has been built in debt, and that is why we are in, let's call it, the economy is on the shape that they are. We are firm believers of working with what's in your hands and making that grow 100, 1,000-fold. But we can elaborate that on a different talk. Okay, if you have tax issues, we can address that. Please send an email to s12j@mywealthmethod.com. Anthony, can I just ask you to please put that into the chat again? So any issues you have with in terms of you having to pay tax, you want to neutralize that, or you want to set up tax efficient investment structures, please reach out to us on that email. So s12j@mywealthmethod.com, and we can see if we can assist you or not. It depends on your circumstances, guys. I think last question from the chat, as we're almost at 12:30. Gillian, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Sorry, I don't think I really have a question, or there's so many, but just to say some couple of things that are kind of questioning. So the one is because, I mean, in a sense, I gather you're all quite youngsters to me. I'm 69 years old. And having come from the sort of 70s generation, there's a lot of what you aspire to that my generation, I believe, came into the world with those kind of aspirations and dreams and visions, etc. Except for the technology part, obviously. So it sounds enormous, you know, as though I and I am new in this, so please bear with me in that I'm not talking out of a lot of knowledge or research into this. But how, my question comes as I listen to you. It all sounds great, but how and with what great teams of people does one need? Or we're living in a time where there's an enormous battle, human battle, spiritual battle. How to find. We can only stand together in a sense. People who can stand together, and few is doesn't seem to be enough. It just seems so enormous, and that we're going in so many different directions. It's great vision. And very hard to imagine how this is going to come about when generations that I've known have tried and failed, and etc. etc.
Yeah, so to give the generations the credit that is due, all of this is possible because of people that has already started many of these processes 50 years ago. We are just the lucky ones, I'm going to call it that, to actually be able to join with those guys and take hands with people that has been busy with this for many years, and but they were missing. The way this has happened is that we are a group of people that each was missing one or two components, but as these people missed components, these people had the components, but they again missed components that these people had, and we simply just did this, and ecosystem was born with synergies that many of these things that we've just shared with you is no longer a dream, it's actual reality, and that's why we've actually presented tonight. The stuff we're still dreaming about is not being put on the table. Yeah, but it is because of generations before us, of course, of the hard work that has been done by people over the past years, decades, putting in effort, hours, and dedicating our lives to solutions that we are able to present this to the current generation and take it forward from this point. I think a big thing that we need to realize as human beings is that we are only on the earth for a limited time, and we need to stop thinking like owners and start thinking like stewards. If we can steward the visions of other people, the devices, the technologies, the mandates, the callings, we can achieve so much more instead of trying to own everything ourselves, but rather work together to create a better community that everybody is independent, but still pulling together towards the same goal. And I think that is why we've been able to do what we've done.
Yeah, and thank you. It just all gives little bits towards a picture that's so great and so enormous. But and I guess I get a bit skeptical after years of being an educator and pedagogue and voice coach in areas that are not only entrenched in the physical world, and realizing how difficult it is to be heard, and how people don't want to hear. And if you look at if I look at today, I mean, I call it a COVID mentality. How people, what so-called even intelligent and even educated people are doing and or not doing, shall we say, and flocking and nothing. It's what's enormous what's happening.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate that, Gillian. Yeah, Anthony, I think everything has been addressed. Guys, if there's questions that has not been addressed, this is not the forum for that. So if you want those questions answered, please send an email to Dias or to S12J if it's tax related, and then we can get back to you guys and address on that, or get back to the person who invited you to this call, as they can also give you guys some answers or feedback. Anthony, over to you. And
thank you so much, Charl. I think everybody's in agreement that tonight was really a mind-stretching exercise for people understanding and seeing that the ambit of our future is far greater and larger than what people would have anticipated. But I would like to just share one thing that is very, very important. We are focused right now to get MyWealth Method 100% operational, accurate, and working for the field. All of these others are obviously big picture developments, and that's why we have separate CEOs, each running their own companies. But I'd just like to have everybody just rest at peace that we are focusing on what has been done first right now, and that will remain the focus. This vision that we have is obviously a 30-year vision, and we decided to share some aspects of what this business is entailing. So on behalf of all the members, Charl, I would like to just personally thank you for your input tonight and your wisdom to know that not all the answers and questions should be answered, because people need to be private club members before they will have the liberty of understanding the inner workings of how these companies work. And therefore we invite you, if anybody was invited by you tonight, please allow them to become a free Tyro member by completing the T's and C's and understanding what they're signing for, because we are in the regulated platform, as you know, and we want to do things always exactly in the right way. But we are really excited about the future, and I'd like to say to you that we have this IBC once a month. It will be the first Thursday of every month, where we go and invite more than just our members to come and listen in terms of how MyWealth sees the future. So to all of you out there, every single person is a potential investor. You just don't know it yet. We welcome you aboard. And remember, if you want to ask any questions, we've given you the email addresses in the chat box, and you're most welcome to go ahead and do so. For our normal members, you will have a recording of the IBC like normal in the core leadership group. So to all of you, thank you. Have a good evening, and God bless. Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your evening.